Hello, this is Duck Show Studios. Warning! This video contains my opinions. You have been warned. So, today we're back for a review, a Thomas Wood review. It's a special Thomas Wood review because it's on, in my opinion, one of the best items of the range. And the item will, and it's also sort of like a tribute to Thomas Wood. Now I know a lot of you guys don't like Thomas Wood, but I do, and in this video, I explain why I like it. So, the item we'll taking a look at is, yep, that's right, both the unpainted 2018 and the fully painted 2019 Wood Rosies. So, Rosie was introduced in the episode Thomas and the Birthday Mail. Where she wanted to be exactly like Thomas and mimic everything he does. She later follows him and helps him out later on. She continued appearing in the Miller era, with smaller roles usually, and then, in the Brenner era, she mostly just appeared in the background until one episode called The Fastest Red Engine on Sodor, where she got a new personality, being more wise and more of a wise engine. I like this personality better, and she's more mature than the others, like she's more mature than James, and wiser. And yeah, so Rosie was introduced to the Thomas Wooden Railway in 2007. And was never really discontinued. She gained a Tomy, as people call it, the Tomy CGI face in 2011 from Learning Curve and Tomy. And then Mattel continued making Rosie models. And then in 2018, she was given this model. Now, when this came out, I was excited. The reason being, I was worried they wouldn't make Wooden Thomas toys anymore, and they'd just stop making them. And I was so happy. When this was announced, I was excited, because I was happy they were continuing making Wooden Thomas toys. And yes, it's unpainted and doesn't look the best. And if I had to choose between the original Wooden Railway staying or this unpainted, I'd definitely choose the original Wooden Railway. But the detail it does have is really good. Like, look at the NWR on her sides, and on the 37, and the gold thing, I don't know what it's called, the cylinders, the boiler, and the face, buffers. When did we ever have printed buffers before? And I was also so glad that there was backwards compatibility, because we had just had the Adventures line, and that did not have backwards compatibility to Take and Play. Well, unless you got adapters, but they only made a limited amount of these adapters, and you had to special order them to slip over your Take and Play magnets. And as well, they didn't work on the old Take and Play magnets. So this actually had backwards compatibility, which I love. So I was excited. And yeah, so this item is a good item. It's not perfect, it's unpainted, and I can see why people don't like it. But I do, just because it has backwards compatibility, and the detail it does have is pretty good. And also, when you play with trains, they just sort of come to life. Yeah. And then in 2018, it seemed that they were going to stop making Wooden Thomas toys, and then I was so excited when they announced this. It's fully painted Thomas Wood. Now this, in my opinion, is the best looking Wood model. I honestly like characters like Merlin and Rebecca just because I have so many fun adventures with them better. But I honestly do love this model, and I think it's the best looking Thomas Wood model. So that's it cracking. So this is the 2019 version. Look at all the paint. Like, it's just so nice to see them painting this. And there's her boiler, her sides. They did this weird thing where they put a black little triangle there where her tank should be sloping down. So instead of cutting it out of the wood, if that makes sense. So that's a bit sung-sing. The coal is pretty neat. The buffers are still there. This is a great model. It's really was, in my opinion, the best Rosie, because I like her red livery better than her pink livery. But then we got the 2022 Rosie, which is a whole other can of worms, and that'll be in the next video. So anyways, what do I think of these two Rosies? I think they're good. This Rosie is good. This Rosie is really good. They are both great models, and I just like that there was backwards compatibility with the magnet couplers and that the engines could still run on the original wooden railway track. And the new track, although not perfect and harder to build with, could connect with the old tracks, and adapters were included in every set. And these models are really good. They just sort of come to life when you play with them. They they just sort of come to life when you play with them. And um yeah. So yeah.